All right, in this explainer, we're jumping right into a topic that's at the absolute core of any successful organization, that powerful, direct link between leadership and how engaged employees really are.
But hey, before we even get to the solutions, we have to ask a really important question. What is the actual cost of having a disengaged team? We're talking about more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about lost creativity, missed opportunities, and just this slow, quiet drain on the entire vibe of your company.
You know, this whole issue actually has a name: the employee engagement dilemma. So let's start right there and get to the bottom of what that really means.
So what is this dilemma? It's not just about being a little unhappy at work. It's a very specific kind of disconnect. It's that feeling when you show up, you put in the hours, you do the work, but you feel zero connection between what you're doing and whether the company as a whole is winning or losing. Your personal successes don't feel like they matter to the company, and the company's big wins, they definitely don't feel like they're yours.
And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? This is what that dilemma feels like on a human level. It's that classic, soul-crushing feeling of being just another cog in some giant impersonal machine. And when people feel like they're just an interchangeable part, well, that's when the passion, the creativity, and that extra effort just disappear.
Okay, so we've put a name to the problem. Now, why is it so incredibly important to fix it? Well, it's because engagement is literally the foundation, the very bedrock of a healthy business environment.
And I want to be super clear here. This isn't some nice-to-have secondary thing. A healthy business environment doesn't just spring up out of nowhere. You have to build it, brick by brick. And employee engagement is one of the most critical bricks in that whole foundation.
Let's actually picture this, right? Two different realities. On one side, you've got that disengaged environment. It's all about stagnation, disconnect, low morale. It's a place that's just kind of stuck. But then you look at the other side, and you see what happens when people are engaged. You get growth, real collaboration, and high motivation. The difference is night and day. So the big question is, how do you get from one side to the other?
And that's where the real solution comes into play. The one force that can truly bridge that gap and turn a whole culture around? Yep, you guessed it. It all comes down to leadership.
But hold on, we're not talking about just giving some pep talks or crossing our fingers and hoping things get better. Nope. The solution here is a real, honest-to-goodness strategy. It's called engagement leadership, and it treats engagement not as some random mood, but as the direct result of very specific, very intentional actions by leaders.
Okay, so how does this whole engagement leadership thing actually work? Well, it's not a guessing game. It's built around a super specific framework called the 12C Principles. Think of it like a playbook for leaders, giving them the exact strategies they need to use.
And this is what changes the game. Instead of just telling managers, hey, go engage your team, this framework actually equips them with tangible principles. You've got things like clarity, making sure everyone is on the same page with the mission, or connection, where you link what someone does every day to the bigger picture, or a celebration, which is about recognizing people's work in a way that actually means something. It's a system that turns engagement from a vague idea into a daily practice.
So how do you put this into practice? It's actually a really smart and simple two-step process. Step one is you have to expose leaders to what that employee dilemma actually feels like. Help them see the problem through their team's eyes. And then, step two, once they get it, you give them the solution. You hand them the 12C framework. See, you don't just point out the problem, you give them the tools and the confidence to go and fix it.
All right, we've covered a lot here: the problem, why it matters, and the strategy to fix it. So let's boil this all down to the key things you really need to walk away with from this explainer. So, what are the big three takeaways here? First, that cog in the machine feeling is a real, critical problem that has to be dealt with head-on. Second, the goal you're aiming for is a healthy business environment, and that doesn't happen by accident. It's a direct result of having an engaged team. And third, and this is the most important part, the solution is proactive leadership that is equipped with a real strategy, a framework that gives them things to do, not just ideas to think about.
And that leaves us with one final, crucial question, the one I really want you to think about. Take a hard look at your own team, your company, maybe even your own leadership style. Are the things you're doing actively creating engagement and connection? Or are they, even if you don't mean for them to, just reinforcing that very same dilemma we've been talking about? The answer to that question, well, it could change everything.